just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number courtesy of E3 and Cracker. Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark. Even got that homebrew flowing.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. In this bulletin, Sodelpa appeals for release of sedition suspects. National Flag Protection Bill passed in Parliament. And warehouse destroyed in early morning blaze. Sodelpa President Ratunaingama Lalambalavu is appealing for the release of the sedition suspects in the Western Division. The Dakandrove chief made the appeal today through a statement in which he is seeking an audience with the PM. Eleanor Turangaivu has more.
Sodelpa President Ratunaingama Lalambalavu is appealing directly to the Prime Minister Warenge Bainimarama to release those currently in remand for sedition claims in Ra and Nandronga. In a statement, the suspended Member of Parliament, who is in Australia, says the sedition suspects are law-abiding citizens and have yet to be served full disclosures, a basic rule of law, thus making their remand an inhumane act and is a breach to their fundamental human right. In the same statement, the Tuivakau is also seeking a direct symposium with Bainimarama to discuss issues of discomfort challenging indigenous Fijians. He says it will be ideal for a symposium to be held where representatives of indigenous Fijian interests could meet directly with the Prime Minister to air concerns on issues like native land, the Great Council of Chiefs, and other resources such as mining and ngolingoli. Ratunaingama also calls on the Prime Minister to exercise empathy and meet with the indigenous Fijians who feel aggrieved through the symposium to ensure peace is maintained in a nation already torn apart by political differences for far too long. This afternoon, Prime Minister Warenge Bainimarama told FBC News he is aware of the statement and will send a response when it's ready. Sodelpa leader Rote Mumukepa says she will not comment as she is not aware of the statement from Ratunaingama. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
3 weeks after the first lot of people were charged with sedition and urging political violence, the National Federation Party has broken its silence and has made its first comment about the issue. Although not saying too much, the leader of the NFP says that he will be making a statement to Parliament tomorrow. However, when pressed, this is what he had to say.
The media cannot tell the party what to say and when. And as I've said, that I will be making a statement in Parliament tomorrow.
So this is a serious crime, and we want to know, the voters want to know, what is your party stand on it? Do you support this? Or
as I said, you're asking...
And the National Federation Party has stayed shut for a few weeks.
You're asking an irrelevant question.
The 16 Nandronga men and women accused of sedition and causing communal antagonism all pleaded not guilty in the Lautoka High Court today. The high-profile case, which drew a lot of attention in the Sugar City today, was stood down once and then adjourned before the accused made their plea. Madhyum Bolaitamana was in court and filed this report.
The signs of a high-profile case was the order of the day at the Lautoka High Court as police beefed up their presence in and around the facility. It wasn't long before the 16 were seen making their way to court this morning. In court, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution reported that the disclosures of the case had already been filed. Defense lawyer Aman Ravindra Singh asked the court for the case to be stood down for 2 hours so he could study the disclosures and evidence before consulting with his clients on their plea. Singh also highlighted to the court that the DPP had set a dangerous precedent, saying that his clients were charged and remanded in custody for the past 9 days with no disclosures or evidence brought before the court. He also told the court that the heavy presence of family members and relatives outside the courthouse was because they have not been allowed to visit or talk to the 16 accused in the past 9 days. The case was stood down for 2 hours to give time for Singh to consult with his clients and recalled at 11:30 a.m. But the defense and his clients were not ready. The matter was then adjourned to 2 p.m. when the 16 accused then appeared. The charges were read to them. All pleaded not guilty to both counts. Singh also sought an early trial date but was informed by Justice Rajasinghe that the court has no available dates this year. Justice Rajasinghe also asked the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions to ensure that the 16 accused are allowed vistas while in remand. He says this is their right and they must not be denied of it. The case will be recalled on the 7th of September, where a ruling on their bail applications will be made. Madhyam Bolaitamana, FBC News.
An early morning fire destroyed the Atlas Trading warehouse at Viria East in Vatuanga, Suva. It took about 50 firefighters to battle the fire, which lasted about 7 hours. Ritika Pratap reports.
It was an uphill battle from the beginning. The building, filled with materials and textiles, was securely locked, preventing firefighters from reaching the source of the blaze. A witness reported that they also had some problems opening a fire hydrant.
We first noticed the fire about 7:30 this morning. I was in my office and the boy on the road ran across to me and told me, Mr. Ma, there's a fire at the back building. So I ordered my staff to ring the fire brigade about 4 times, and they eventually arrived where there's no water in the truck. And they tried to open the fire hydrant, there's no water in the fire hydrant. Till now, there's no water in the fire hydrant. The second truck came with some water in the tank of the truck. This is the only water they're using. And if that fire hydrant was working, they could have put that fire off in no time.
When I first arrived at the scene around 8 a.m., black smoke was issuing from the building. 2 hours later, when I returned, it was a completely different scene. Flames now had engulfed the structure. By this afternoon, the fire was still smoldering, but it was obvious to see that the contents of the warehouse had been destroyed and the structure severely damaged. Because of the blazing contents of the warehouse, the firefighters focused on preventing the blaze from spreading to nearby buildings.
Unfortunately, when we were able to gain access, the inside of the building was fully engulfed with flames. As such, we had to prioritize the prevention of spreading of the fire to the nearby buildings, and that was the focus of operation this morning. And by this afternoon, 2 o'clock, we managed to put out the fire.
No damage estimate for the building or its contents has been started. The investigation into the cause of the blaze starts tomorrow.
Such a magnitude fire, it will take time to determine the cause and where the fire started from.
When FBC News contacted the owner, Naveen Chandra, this afternoon, he was unable to give any details, saying he is unable to get access to his property. The Atlas Trading warehouse fire is believed to have been the biggest in Fiji this year. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Parliament today passed Fiji's first bill for an act on the protection of the national flag. Voted for in the majority, there was nonetheless debate on the clauses of the bill covering human rights, freedom of expression and the reversal of burden of proof, to name a few. Maggie Boyle compiled this report.
Thank you. There being 27 ayes, 14 noes and 9 have not voted. The bill is agreed to unanimously.
A unanimous decision. Committee of Whole Parliament this afternoon deciding on a bill for an act to provide for the national flag protection. The House was not short on debate as the MPs went through 19 clauses of the bill where debate ensued on several issues. Here is an extract of that debate with commentary from Opposition MP Tupon Ronindalo, Attorney General Aya Said Kayum, MP and Committee Chair Ashnil Sudhakar.
To allow people to have that freedom to express themselves in that way, Madam Speaker. And that's all I want to say, in that if we pass these provisions, we're restricting fundamental human rights.
Burning your flag is not a fundamental right. Madam Speaker, if you may disagree with a government policy, it doesn't mean you're going to burn the flag.
We had looked at many other countries, and I'll give some short examples. In the United States, which is seen as the champion of democracy around the world, in their 1968 legislation, in the public law, it stated that whoever knowingly casts contempt upon any flag of the United States by publicly mutilating, defacing, defiling, burning, trampling upon, it shall be fined not more than $1,000 or imprisoned for not more than 1 year.
If you do offend in a strict liability manner, which is, as I have already read out, which ones do and which ones don't, those fines, Madam Speaker, again, on offences like this, for expressing your point of view to dissent, I would suggest they're just too heavy.
You will see that the committee has recommended that the fines be reduced and then the sentencing provisions be reduced. So it's been reduced from 20,000 originally to 5,000. It's been reduced from 10 years to 3 years. And it is not 3 years, it is up to 3 years.
Also passed into an act today was the Coat of Arms Bill. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
In the news ahead, FBC's newest initiative turns heads.
Nama kikirau mena tolu kena betu. Ena via kabi, moliti kena porombuka. Goria na lali ne kabi. Bula FM, navan dua ena seri.
The passing mark for public service vehicle drivers taking the defensive driving course is currently under review. This was mentioned by Minister for Transport Praveen Kumar Bala speaking in Parliament today.
2015, standing in my name in today's
Opposition MP Prem Singh asked Transport Minister Praveen Kumar Bala as to what section of the LTA Act or regulation has the LTA prescribed 90% as the minimum passing mark for PSV drivers undertaking the defensive driving course.
The 90% pass mark was a policy decision by the management of LTA. And this came out of section 61(6). No person shall from the date of commencement of this part be granted a public service vehicle driver's license unless that person has attended and participated in a formal course and program of instruction in defensive driving and road safety approved by the authority.
Opposition MP Semesa Karavaki also raised concern on how LTA monitors PSV drivers.
Is it assessing, the LTA is assessing the conduct of the public service vehicle drivers in reflection of the effect of the driving course, defense driving course being undertaken by the LTA.
Bala says that through the driving course, drivers are reminded that safety is vital on our roads.
The PSP defensive driving is essentially driving in a manner that utilizes safe driving to enable motorists to address and identify hazard in a reasonable manner.
Over 23,000 drivers have undertaken the defensive driving course. Of this number, only 66 have failed. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
The Ministry of Education is currently in talks with various teacher training institutions to adopt a common curriculum starting from next year. Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy said this while giving his ministerial statement in Parliament today. Ali Kimbia has more.
Speaking about reforms in the education sector, Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy reveals that talks are underway to have the same curriculums at teacher training institutions.
At the moment, when we take graduates from USP or University of Fiji or Fiji National University, we treat them as the same product. But the educational units that they do are different. So we need to standardize this, given that we are the only employer for teachers in this country.
Opposition MPs raised their concerns on some of the education reforms, saying careful planning should have been done before any changes are made.
Cannot be done overnight, just as the say-so of the Honourable Minister. It should be done just to please the Honourable Prime Minister, Madam Speaker, but must be carried out due to a genuine and passionate thoughts about the people of this nation.
I would urge the Honourable Minister for Education that it's not too late to step back and think about the reforms and the process of undertaking those reforms, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
However, Reddy says much reforms are vital to create a more knowledgeable society.
We must ensure that every child goes to school, receive the right learning and contribute fully to society. Education must be the first priority, not just any education, but quality education to shape our country or this world into a better place.
The government will continue to ensure that learning needs of young people are met through equitable access to appropriate learning and life skills program. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
The Social Democratic Liberal Party says individual members also have the right to vote regardless of what or who they vote for. Opposition MP William Ngavoka made the comments when questioned by FBC News on why he voted for government when they passed the tax amnesty bill on Monday. Ngavoka says with SODELPA, when there is no party directive, they vote their principles, and he exercised that.
For the SODELPA side, if there is no submission regarding any issue, we will vote according to our conscience. On that day, there was no directive given for voting. It was decided by individual. In a political sense, there is a directive given by any party member.
Fiji Broadcasting Corporation's Mirchi FM reality show Lok Kar Diya Jai has entered its 4th hour. The show sees 2 celebrity announcers locked inside a house for 4 days. Shireen Lata reports.
This is the first of its kind show in Fiji where an announcer is locked in a small house for 4 days. Mirchi FM's Jiten Shandil will go through challenges and tasks set during this time frame. Earlier in the day, Shandil's fans visited him in Nakasi, giving him their best wishes and congratulating him for taking up such a difficult task.
No one in Fiji has done this, so we wanted to give our listeners more excitement and something more apart from our branding, which we did, and you know that the station is very powerful as well.
Shandil says he is excited to be part of the historic event.
I have to dance on 5 songs, and 9 p.m. I have to read story. So myself 4 days, and Ashnil will come on Friday.
2 of us will be locked inside a small room. We'll have no bath. Days will be given to us, and there's a lot of days.
Cameras will be on Shandil 24/7, capturing his every move. Live reports and crossovers will be aired on Mirchi FM, Fbctv, FBC webpage and Mirchi FM Facebook page. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
People in the Northern Division are enjoying the festivities of the 2015 Friendly North Carnival in Lambasa. Various programs have been organized based on the theme of building a better North. For the public, they're taking advantage of sunny, dry weather to fully enjoy the carnival atmosphere.
Good business running, and weather is good.
There are a lot of things to eat in this carnival. We see a lot of beautiful things.
Lambasa, we like having some backwards, can't have festivals or like this, so this is the time we're enjoying here.
13 contestants are vying for the 2015 Miss Friendly North title. And on that note, we turn to sports now. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Jackie, and good evening. In sports after the break, HFC Fairbrother Challenge launched in Suva last night, and Flying Fijians now covered with loss of income insurance. Stay with us for the details.
छू 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 हे नमस्ते फीजी। आपके हर एक प्रॉब्लम की दवा लेकर मैं आ गई हूँ 9 से 12 बजे तक आपकी सहेली रेनू। छू 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 40 में 20 का दिखना है। मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक मंडे टू फ्राइडे। मिर्ची, इट्स हॉट।
A major win for the Vodafone Flying Fijians ahead of the Rugby World Cup, with Fiji Rugby Union incorporating loss of income insurance into players' contracts. Indra Singh has more.
Good news for these Flying Fijians as they now can be assured of regular income should they be sidelined from the sport due to injury while representing the country at the upcoming World Cup.
They are also covered under loss of income sort of insurance. That insurance is especially important. I think it is important that I highlight it because it is
it is the insurance that will cover their loss of income if something untoward was to happen to them.
Tambolevu says too often in the past, fingers have been pointed at overseas-based players of playing with caution while on international duties.
I think before there's been narratives and suggestions that the players from overseas do not always give their all because they're worried about their contracts. The insurance that are in place now ensure that if ever there was that sort of worry in their minds, which I'm sure they weren't, the insurance covers all that.
Apart from this, the players are also insured from the time they leave their clubs to join the national camp.
They are also insured for travel, so if they were coming from France to come here to play and then go back to France, the minute they leave France, they're covered under the travel insurance.
This is something which is for sure to be welcomed by the players as they get ready for the World Cup, as now they know that their income at least is secured despite having played for their country rather than their club. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the HFC Bank Fairbrother Trophy Challenge was launched last night in Suva. Each team taking part in the challenge was given $2,000 as preparation grant. Holders Nandrunga will be taking on 8 challenges this season. Sponsors assured that this year's competition for the most prestigious trophy in Fijian rugby circles will be another exciting one.
Last year's challenge was very, very thrilling. In fact, this is our second year of sponsorship. And for those of you, or those of us that went down to Lawang last year, you can imagine the thrill and the competitiveness and the professionalism that rugby is now at this stage.
The first challenge this Saturday sees Nandrunga taking on Nandi at Lawanga Park at 3:30 p.m. Swami Vivekananda College is satisfied with its performance in the Tuckers Ice Cream Fiji Secondary School Basketball Championship, which ends today. This was the Nandi-based school's first appearance in the competition, and the players are determined to return with a stronger team next year. Salenda Dakdaka reports.
Basketball is a developing sport in Nandi, yet Swami Vivekananda College put in some impressive performances over the past 2 days in the secondary school's national championships.
SVC has some really good potential players, and if they get the right training and the right motives, then SVC will become one of the top schools in basketball.
Lack of facilities is a major hurdle for schools such as SVC to develop its players. More than 80 players turned up for trials on a single court to try and make the cut for the school team, displaying the interest among the students.
Well, the best thing about this is like the competitive spirit with the other schools, and also to interact with our scholars around Suva and the whole nation, to be really interactive with them and also get to know them better and improve on our basketball skills.
SVC may not have the facilities to rival their counterparts in Suva and Lautoka, but their performance in this year's schools championships has given them the confidence to make a strong comeback next year. Talento Dakavaka, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the Under-19 finals are currently underway. John Wesley College is taking on J. Narayan College in the boys category, while Natambo is taking on Suva Grammar School in the girls division. The Fiji Football Association says it is trying its best to fulfill the demands of their local fans. Apart from the international friendlies against Tonga and American Samoa, more international matches are being organized for the national side. Talks are underway with the national sides of India, Sri Lanka and Chinese Taipei to play the Vodafone Fiji senior side.
We have also been trying to sort of liaise with the Asian countries, Asian teams for an international match during this current window, but they were all committed and we were not able to do so. Definitely we are looking at the November window for our international matches abroad.
Meanwhile, the match against American Samoa kicks off at 7 p.m. tomorrow at Nandi's Prince Charles Park. That's it from Sports Tonight. Good evening.
Amalgamated Telecom Fiji Holdings Limited Group has recorded an increase in its gross profit. This was announced at the ATH 17th Annual General Meeting held in Suva today. Ellen Stolz reports.
More than 21 shareholders gathered in Suva for the 17th AGM for ATH Group. ATH Chairman Ajit Godagoda says the last financial year has delivered good results for shareholders.
We are now the largest telecom operator in the region.
So we keep on talking about being the hub of the Pacific. So we are truly the biggest operator. If you put all the companies together, excluding Papua New Guinea, we are the biggest operator.
The consolidated sales revenue for the group grew by 10.6% to $310 million, compared to last year's sales revenue growth of 3.9%. Shareholders were also told that ATH will also be eyeing other expansions in the region.
We spoke about expanding our footprint in the region. We now have actually acquired the Kiribati telecommunication company, and within the next few months you will probably hear more news about our expansion into the region.
The company also declared a final dividend of $3.35 per share, which will be paid on September 23rd. The annual report showed that most of the ATH subsidiaries recorded a positive performance across the board. Ellen Stahls, FBC News.
Sunny weather across most of the country today, with just the odd scattered showers in the east. Temperatures fell on the cool side thanks to a strong southerly wind. Mombasa recorded the highest temperature of 31 degrees. Suva was lowest at 25, while Nandi recorded 29, Ba 28 and Lautoka 27. Tomorrow will be much the same as today, sunny with cool southerly winds and just a chance of scattered showers. The outlook for Friday is more sunny, clear weather. The main points again: SEDELPA President Ratanaingama Lalambalavu wants sedition suspects to be released. Parliament passes National Flag Protection Bill and the Coat of Arms Bill, and early morning fire in Bathuanga has destroyed a warehouse. On to our poll question this week, we're asking, are current measures for public service vehicle inspection adequate? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Good night.